Let's start with the first one in hockey. This is a huge one. The Sharks, they make a trade for a top-rated goalie, Yaroslav Askarov, and they get him from Nashville. And so they sent David Edstrom for a forward that they got in the Tomas Hertl trade. And Vegas's 2025 first round pick that they got also in the Tomas Hertl trade. So basically, they sent Magnus Krona as well, a goalie who spent a couple of games up with the big team, and so they get back Colorado's third round pick as well as another depth forward for the minor league system, Nolan Burke, who may or may not end up seeing a minute or two here or there with the team, in a couple of years. I'm not sure. I haven't really dove into him, but so they get their goalie. He's 22 years old. He's basically NHL ready. Right now, the Sharks do have 2 NHL level goaltenders already on the team, so he may end up starting with the Barracuda for the first month or so. But I gotta probably right around the time All-Star break comes, he's gonna have already started several games for the Sharks by then, I believe. Maybe as soon as the new year hits, he'll be called up by then, within a couple of months. I'm really excited for this move. The goalie of the future is the goalie of the present, or the very near future at this point. This is a huge move. And he was basically blocked in Nashville because they signed their top goaltender to an 8-year contract over this offseason. And then they also signed a backup for a 2-year contract. So he was basically locked out. He wasn't going to be able to earn an opportunity with Nashville. He wasn't going to be able to be the man anytime soon. Whereas with the Sharks, there's NHL caliber goalies right now. There's 2 of them, but I mean, they're not. Blackwood's fine. I mean, but they're going to be trade bait. They're they're going to try to get another, they're going to try to stock up even more with the minors with those guys. So and one of them's on an expiring contract. I don't even have the names listed for the other guy, but basically, Askarov, if you look up some of the highlights for him, one of the things that he was famous for was, after making after a win, and I think it was a shootout win, he goes over, he tips over the net, and then starts doing push up like he's doing the bar at the gym with the goalie net. It's so funny with the goal net. That guy's a character. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Goalies are a little bit weird to begin with. There's a screw loose in most of them, especially the really good ones. So this guy's got, I think, as long as he's got a couple of screws loose. Yeah, as long as the right screws are loose and it stays fun, like doing push-ups or like bench presses with the goal net, then it's great. As long as he doesn't go full Jordan Bennington, I think I'm going to be just fine. Oh yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah. So I'm really excited. This was basically the last piece that you've added a bunch of forward depth, obviously, with Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith and a bunch of other people. You've addressed a couple of defensive pieces too, that are just about ready to make the leap. And so this is the time. We've talked about it before. If you're gonna hop on the bandwagon, do it now while we're at the bottom where it's really easy. It's just one tiny little step up to get onto the bandwagon, Yeah. And there's not a lot of people on the bandwagon right now. It's a great time. You're going to be able to get some cheap tickets as long as you're not trying to go on Joe Thornton's retirement day. Those are expensive as shit. Oh my God.
Shout out Vince's wallet.
Yeah. R.I.P. my wallet. Rest in the most peace. Oh.
I feel like, as a former athletics fan, we've seen too many rebuilds, and it's like you're going up a roller coaster, right? You're going up, and then it's right before that drop. Is for the San Jose Sharks, you're still on that incline, but you look over to your partner, you're like, it's happening.
This is getting good. This is gonna be so
We're
fun.
about to go down.
Yeah, let's go.
So I feel like we're in that mode of like, I don't expect the Sharks to win a bunch of games next year.
No.
I think what we're looking forward to is obviously seeing the young guys just be there and take steps forward. And then for, young guys like Eklund, right? Like become a better pro, get more consistent, get more playing time, and see these guys like Celebrini and Askarov now, like take over playing time and establish roles into the system. I think, a year and a half, 2 seasons from now, roughly, that'll be the drop of like, yeah, we're like on the ride because everybody is arriving at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really exciting time in this roster rebuild. Is all of the moves make a lot of sense, and Mike Greer is timing a lot of these trades and getting younger at the right positions, and even just adding to the minor system, because a good franchise has a well-developed minor league system. Because hypothetically, let's say everything works out 2, 3, 4 years down the season later, you need to make a big trade. You need to add a big superstar. You have the assets that doesn't jeopardize the major club. You can go out and trade some pieces from your minor league system because you're so deep, and you can go and add a star player to get you over the hump, to get you to the Stanley Cup.
And the other thing is, if one or two of your players become with the big team become a little bit too expensive, you got young ones to come in and take that spot. I mean, that's basically how the Dodgers have been winning the NL West for the last like decade.
Exactly.
Like the minor league system is stocked, and the major league roster is stocked for them. And that's kind of how you want to ideally build it, and that's how you can, avoid going into tank mode, is by having, the cycle keep churning out these great, quality prospects and turn them into stars. So they're on the road to doing that right now. Obviously, these players have to finish the job, and they got to do what that they're expected to do. But if they hit, if 3/4 of these guys end up being hits, man, this is going to be a really good team in a couple of years, and I'm really excited. And
Tyler just had a comment in the chat that said the coach is my only question mark.
Yeah, he's
I get
first
why.
time. Yeah,
I get why, but at the same time, like, I know it's not the same sport.
Ryan's Warsofsky, by the way, just throwing that out there. That's the name,
right?
Yeah.
Mike Greer's brother, Tampa Bay Buccaneers football guy. How many times have we seen NFL head coaches that are younger, especially now, get first time opportunities, and they're instant successes? And I think there is something to be said to having a younger coach that is breathing fresh air into the franchise and into the players. Relatability in the modern sports era is important.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not like, I'll say 6 or 7 years ago, 10 years ago, where you were able to get a Bill Parcells who was 70 years old and still coaching. It's not like that anymore. Like, these players want to relate to people. It's a different dynamic. So I do think the San Jose Sharks and Mike Greer, I mean, look at all these moves. Is he a dummy? I mean, this guy he wasn't a great player, right? But
he was a good player. Yeah,
player.
Yeah, he was good.
And he was in the locker room. I think from a player's point of view, I think Mike Greer has a good vantage point of what would I want as a coach. And now as the general manager, he's saying, well, what do I want in a general manager? And I think so far he's been doing a pretty damn good job in balancing what would I be ideal from a player's point of view and what would be ideal from a franchise general manager point of view. I don't know how it's going to play out. It could be the worst decision he ever made, or it could be the best decision he's ever made. But I'm willing to give him the shot of picking his coach and trust him with his coach.
This franchise has been known for at least like front office stability,
right.
And and I mean, outside of this, now we're on like 5 years of losing. Outside of this, they were pretty stable, like, at coach too. Like they weren't trading him out every other year. There was like you would get at least 4 years out of a guy, bare minimum. I mean, Todd McClellan was here for 7 years or something like that. Ron Wilson, like kicking it back to the mid two
Yeah, long
thousands, like
time.
he was there for 5 or 6 years. I mean, so when the Sharks were winning, obviously you don't need to make too many changes when you're winning and you're close. You need to make tweaks here and there, and they ended up not being able to, get the final job done. But they were always, you know, they were always looking. They were always big game hunting, and right now this is the time for Mike Greer. He's gonna get
Didn't
a chance with his
one of
road
the
coach. Yeah.
didn't Sutter go on and win a
Oh yeah,
Stanley
with the
Cup
LA
after?
Kings. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like they were hiring knuckleheads. They didn't get it
Right.
done with the Sharks, but they had coaches that were
Hmm.
good coaches, and unfortunately, some of them went off and won elsewhere. Um,
Hmm.
but it just shows that their work ethic and their hockey mind was in the right spot.
Oh
So
yeah, totally. I mean, and winning the Stanley Cup, that is it's obviously a really tough ask. It might be the toughest trophy to win in all of sports. It might be. I mean,
Vince, as you say that, every year I notice there's teams that were like loser teams the year before, then all of a sudden they're in it. Like they
yeah,
are in it
yeah,
and they win. And then the next year they're like,
they're back to dog shit.
they're
Yeah.
back to, yeah, like,
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's you got to be good, but then you also got to be crazy hot too.
right.
And we've seen goaltenders in the past just steal
Take over.
Stanley Cups. That Anthony Niemi in 2010
I
for
was just going to
Chicago.
say, yeah,
That first Chicago championship in 2010. It wasn't their first ever, but like the first one that we got to see. Yeah, they like Anthony Niemi just went nuclear
God
hot.
mode.
Like yeah, he went Clay Thompson. What was it, 60 points on 11 shots? Like he just went.
Right.
You don't get that hot in video games. Like
Right.
he was just crazy good that year.